Hi, welcome. This is the Wednesday Wellbeing reading. I did it again, a rookie move. I recorded I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, maybe not that long, without my microphone being on. And I just told myself, oh, you need a pilot's checklist. You need to be ready for takeoff. Check, 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 check. I can't be doing this a lot. So anyway, it was great. The reading was wonderful. You should have been there. So now I'm like, oh, good. I'm able to turn my laundry over so I can keep the ball rolling before I have to go back to the studio. I had this nice juicy break between clients where I was actually able to do something. So I ran to get a haircut because, I'm leaving the country next week. And all of a sudden, and it's like, oh, what are all the things I have to do? And then I go into go, go, go mode. And luckily, my friend and hairstylist / client, talk about dual roles. Talk about that, massage therapy. She was able to squeeze me in. And she's like, what do you want? And I'm like, I want a little orphan Annie haircut. And she's like, well, you're going to need to get a perm for that. And I'm like, well, how about little orphan Annie in her 40s? Her hair's already lost its curl a little bit, is thinning out, very dry. And she's like, we can do that. I haven't styled it or put, I don't do that anyway, but I'm always in hair bandana type things for body work, and I haven't put that back on yet. So this is the all natural, straight from the salon, where she squeezed me in so we didn't have time to style it or anything. So in fact, I'm still shaking out hair pieces, when you get all those little clippings. That's the worst. So anyway, where were we? Wednesday Wellbeing. Let's see what wants to come through. I already did my little prayer. I already did a test reading, apparently. And it was pretty good. So let's do it for real this time. Now that my microphone's on, the ambiance is set. I had also forgotten my little starlights, which I like to have because I just like how they move. They actually entertain my cat. He's always and I'm like, Agador, it's just little balls of light. You can't catch him. And he doesn't listen. He still tries. I'm like, well, easy cat toy. Like I said before, I don't even think my laser pointer has any batteries left in it. I don't even know. So he likes to play with it. So anyway, let's just see what message wants to come through for our well-being on Wednesday. This is Tuesday. I always do them a day ahead so you have access to them when Wednesday hits. And so we're just thinking about tomorrow and what kind of message we need to really hear and see how to take care of ourselves, or what's going on in our lives that we might need to take a look at. And I feel during my flubber of a test reading without the microphone a little bit ago, what I always what kind of spread is being given, to me in my mind's eye to do. And I'm not an expert. I just what feels good. And the 9 card spread came through, and I just kind of want to see if since we're doing this all over, what wants to come through, what kind of reading. Oh, this hair, yeah, I gotta style it or something. It still feels like a 9 card. Okay, I gotcha. Let's see. Now, with that, it could go pretty long and deep, but I'm trying to get faster. So let's see what we can do with the 9 card. Thank you, Spirit. Wow. I'm gonna leave I'll go ahead and leave the reversals because I was just thinking about this. I won't always read the reversal, but I like to feel into the energy. And even if it comes in the upright, I always think about whether it really speaks to me in the reversal energy, because I don't really believe in the whole what flips around and whatever. But I do like to remember how it initially came out, because sometimes it's a big like, oh yeah, we really need to read it that way, especially if I'm kind of on the fence or it's really fitting. So I'll leave those here just for a little, see what it means. Wow, maybe I shouldn't. They're all reversals. Oh, that's funny. Well, we'll see. Overall energy, what? 8 of Swords? No. Tell me it isn't so. So, a little warm. I don't even have my heater on. So the overall energy, 8 of Swords, and we're going to see how it fits, but this tends to mean like something of your own self-doing, perhaps, of feeling trapped. Like there's something you feel trapped by in your life. And a lot of times it's like we make our own lives, right? We manifest all of the conditions of our life in one way or another. So obviously it's like of our own doing. And so there's like this, like I'm keeping myself bound up and blind to something that maybe I don't want to look at. Maybe that's making me feel trapped. So we're just going to see if that resonates. I often think of it as like, especially in the overall energy of like a really like, you're ready to let something go. You're ready for some change of this type of energy. You're ready to release that. That's like when it's in the overall, I kind of feel that. It's a releasal. Releasal? Releasal. Is that a word? Releasal. I don't think it's a word. I swear I got straight A's. You wouldn't know it. Okay, so in the current energy, we have the 3 of Swords. So a lot of times that's like heartbreak, grief, maybe some sadness. But also it's like the swords are of the mind. And also I think of 3s as like harmony. So it's like maybe there's some disharmony in your life at the moment that's causing you a little, a little upset, maybe a little regret. Yeah. And because this is already that energy, and when you read it in the reverse, it might be kind of big energy. It's like for the 3 of Swords, it could also mean like you're ready to release that big energy, because we're talking about something that, yeah. And same, gosh, this is so similar. Like the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords, this anxiety and worry, this kind of mindset that keeps you up at night, and you're just like agonizing over it. And that's what's led into this energy. So this is still going on. It feels like it's very much still in the present, not far past. It's just definitely what's been happening that's led us right up to this moment of wanting to release something. And when we're like this, no matter what it is, we're on the verge of surrender. That's that, like, I get chills all the time. Oh, got chills. It's like we are literally on the verge of surrender. Let's go to the immediate future. King of Cups, which is this, oh, interesting. I almost said the word balance. Like King of Cups is this balance between, like he's a powerful figure, like there's power there, there's confidence, there's like the ability to take action, and there's this balance between fire and water, King and Cups. That's the energy. But then it's, if I want to read the reversal, it's like this, something is, there's some, it just feels like maybe there's some imbalance here. If we don't address something, we're not going to truly take action from that place of balance where we have that passion of the king, that fire energy, and something about getting into the heart space with that cups energy, that compassion. If we don't lead with that balance of compassion with the fire of passion, it's like passion, compassion, then I feel like this is like a little like, hey, this could be a likely outcome if we don't address something. And I don't think you want that. if we're going to read that in the reversal. And what's interesting is in the conscious mind, like what we're thinking about is temperance. Oh my God, this is all balance. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, we'll get there. I just now took a look at the whole thing. It's like, what? This is big energy. So we have temperance. Obviously, that's about balance. It's also about like, oh my God, this one's also about surrender, because you want to surrender to the will of something greater than yourself. Like you've been pushing, like you are agonizing here. The way your life is in the moment, you're like, there's got to be something better than this. I'm ready to surrender. There's like this little cautionary tale of like, you need to address something, because if you move forward, you're still not in balance. There's something like you're just going to be all like too aggressive in the world, maybe, without that compassionate like balance. So temperance is all about like surrender something to a force greater than yourself, because it's okay. Like the not knowing how something's going to turn out is okay. There's some balance here. You need to like check yourself and like maybe go through this surrender period, because the divine, like really trusting in like the uncertainty of how things manifest in your life, if you let go, because it's always greater. Just let go. And this is saying the divine, of course it's always greater. And divine, I just mean like something beyond human, like force. In the immediate past that you've been thinking about is wanting that new perspective. Like you want to take some time out to have a new perspective, a fresh perspective on something. This energy, like this is really weighing on you in the moment, and you've been wanting to make a change. That's what this is when it's up there in the conscious, in the immediate past, like up till today, influencing the situation. You want to make a change. In the immediate future, what's interesting that I thought of when I was reading the King of Cups is this Two of Pentacles also came in reverse, and that's also about balance and finding that sure footing. Always like there's a balance for everything, and it's not like an exact middle point. It's like you're always juggling a spectrum of things. You're always riding these waves, and it's just about being able to ride the waves, and not getting knocked down by, again, the uncertainty or when things happen in your life. And so to read it in the reverse is like, it feels like this, like a cautionary tale of like, and this might be a little bit of worry that, of like, this could be your actual future, and this could be what you're worrying about, is like, yeah, if I don't follow like what I've been called to, I know something's calling me to have a fresh perspective, seek balance, and how the divine can manifest something greater for me than I can. And it's like, this is saying you're always going to be just off balance if you don't take this time. And this is saying the very same thing. Like I'm reading these exactly the same, because look at this king. He's like on the waves, and this is kind of your kind of personality out in the world and your willpower as this king. And this is kind of like what's in your thoughts. You're like, I know, I want balance. I want it. I don't want to be the upside down king. I want to be it in the upright. And then in the what's needing you to take a look at this moment, it's coming up now because it's saying, hey, it's a call to take a look at something. And so in the immediate, present, we have the Queen of Pentacles. There's something here about, it's like the pentacles aren't always financial. So what I'm going to do is just do like a general feeling for this is like, you want to enjoy life. You want to be like, oh, I love my life. Like this nurturing energy and this like feminine quality to just like feeling into how much you love something, And it's not of the mind, it's like truly like of the body. Like you want to just be in love with your life. And so in the immediate past, what you've been like, what's been wanting to come through is like, yes, take this time, not just to have a fresh perspective. Like the Hanged Man is like, I don't, like, he has this glowing halo thing around him, but I don't read him as like the divine energy like I do this. So the Four of Swords, I feel like, is we're going into prayer, which means surrender, which means recognizing that divine, something greater than what I can do. And it's saying like, this has been there way deep inside you. It is working through you, kind of maybe a little bit in the back of your mind or subconscious. Like you're like, do I need it to have a conversation? Do I need a connection with something greater than myself? Like, how do I feel about that? Maybe you're soul searching. Maybe you're like wondering about a new whole belief system. That's huge, because you know that surrendering, meaning going into like prayer, having a conversation, developing a relationship with something greater than you, which means maybe saying like, what do I even believe? You know, all of this. And like in the immediate future, the Hermit, it's like, I feel like it came in the reverse. Maybe these reversals in this reading are very important. I don't know. Take it for what you want. But the Hermit here is like, there's, in general, it's like going inward for you to seek your own inner wisdom, your own greater wisdom. And again, the Hermit and the Hanged Man, I don't think so much about like you're seeking a relationship with something greater than yourself, like the divine, spirit, God, what have you. But this one I do. And I feel like this one is like saying like, if we really are being called to all of these different ways to go inward, to seek something greater than ourselves, to seek our own wisdom, just to see things with a fresh perspective. And what's weird is like, out of all the cards in the tarot, these are like, are these all the ones that do that? I think so. Like, these are all the ones about like going inward, seeking your wisdom, praying, like going into that quietude, changing your perspective. It's so fascinating. We got like all three of them in this, and two of them are major arcana, along with the Temperance card. So could it be as simple as that? Could it be as simple as we need to go inward from all these different perspectives, seek our own wisdom, and just like try to see things from a new perspective, maybe putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And then there's like a caution there about becoming imbalanced if we don't do that, or staying imbalanced if we don't do that. Okay, that's just the baseline reading. And so what we'll do is, it's so hard to pick these up. I probably should put them in a different location. Again, I don't have fingernails anymore, so it's like, how do I pick things up? Okay, so I would like to get some kind of clarification on the overall, just to see like, what are we dealing with here? How deep is this? How profound? You know, how big? And then I'll know like, do we even need an extended? Should we just put it all out there and do a little clarification? Or are we going to like, is it calling for something greater? Because Wednesday Wellbeing, the word well-being, has no size limit. It could be like, oh, you just need some more sleep. You'll be great. Or like, look at all this going inward, this call to action to go inward is like, it's always for our well-being. Does anything say, you don't need to look inside for you'll be fine? No, that's not even a thing. Unless like you're out of balance that way. Do you only look inside? Anyway, so we just want to know, like, let's clarify that Eight of Swords energy and like how it relates to this seeking wisdom from within and from above, for lack of a better word. Thank you. The Empty Room. What is this? I don't know if I've read this one before. I haven't had them that long. I've done a bazillion readings, but I haven't had them that long. XLII. The Empty Room. The Vortex. The Abyss. The Nothing. The empty room haunts us all. It is the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to save our outward appearance. Ooh. Be with the nothingness. Be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you're doing. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. You guys, that's all of this energy. When light, spaciousness, potential, possibility. When dark, addiction, insatiability, more for more's sake. Wow. The archetype of the empty room is also portrayed as the hungry ghost, always feeding and never satiated. Oh, I have read this one before. A day of silence is a surefire way to harness the power of the empty room. Because I remember it because it says go deeper, like it gives you tips to go deeper. And it says John Cage's 433. And when I looked it up, of course, John Cage, you know, like go ahead and Spotify him or whatever, Google him, YouTube him perhaps. And he, it's just like 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. I love it. So it's like going inward, and you know, like when people talk about what was there before the Big Bang or whatever, you know, I like to think about that stuff. I have so many chills right now, Agador. What is that? Like, it was just pure potential, you know, this, and then everything was created. So like, that's what we have inside. I think that's what it's telling us. Like, go inside. There's pure potential there. Sorry, these little hairs are all over me. So I better take a shower before I go into my next client, or else I'll be like shaking hairs all over. Ooh, that's gross. They leave hairs all over my studio. It's only fair, right? Just kidding. So yeah, I think that's what this is calling us to do. You know what's been going on. Obviously, this is all about what's in your head. It's about your own manifestation of that situation. So I don't know if we need to clarify that too much, really. So what I'll do is how about I give you one more little overall before we go into the extended. I just feel like I almost said I need more cards. I need to order more. I do, like, I love Oracle, but there are some cards that just fit archetypal overall energy. And my beauties over here that I keep looking at are just, they're more like clarification oracles. They're not like, what does it all mean oracles? So, but you know what? That's just my feeling about the way I read things and the way the messages come through me. So I just feel like maybe it's also my little ulterior motive excuse to get more cards. Like, I don't think these are working. Anyway, let's see if there's some clarification for this pure potential empty room going inward to address what we've been manifesting through these like anxious, like self-harmful thoughts, and what we're being really called to look at. Thank you. What's this? What's this beauty? Number 23. It looks like this female character, it almost looks like a peacock, like, or a veil, and maybe a male figure beside her. Who knows about the male? Like, you know, I don't read male, female, but it's something about two figures. They're wound, the bodies are wound together. And are there's like butterfly wings or peacock? Oh, I thought this was her hair. No, this is her hair. And these are their bodies wound together. Well, this will be interesting. Is this a love reading? I haven't really had those. I don't think I'm your love tarot reader. So, you know, self-love. But if you've been lacking it, kiss goodbye. Ours, mine or yours. How do we ever untangle us? Interesting. How do I ever remove me from we? My soul is so intertwined with yours. How do I let go? I was still dancing when the music stopped, and so the dream is still so real in my heart and mind. I am weak when it comes to the thought of loosing us. See, I just can't with this oracle anymore. I'm sorry, guys. The grammar is a trigger for me. I have to figure out why I get so worked up about grammar. I mean, one reason is, don't these go through an editing process? I don't think this is like a self-published thing, is it? Maybe it is. In which case, maybe I should reach out and just be like, do you want some help? It's printed in China. No, maybe it is self. I'm sorry. Maybe I was too harsh. You know, maybe English isn't your first language. It's okay. I am sorry. I feel bad now. You're just trying to put beauty out in the world, and I'm getting triggered by grammar. I gotta do some soul searching. It's all a journey, isn't it? Of what we were, or maybe what will never be again. Changing your path is not always easy. One day you're skipping and dancing down the yellow brick road, and then out of nowhere, the way home is ripped out from underneath you. What you were is now deteriorating, and you have to move on without the security of your familiar life. Making decisions feels impossible because you are so disoriented, but reality says, this is your world now. You have to face the situation with a brave heart. You will undeniably go through your time of mourning, but the sun will rise again along with you. Take all of you and your beliefs which serve you best, and leave behind the parts of you which no longer exist or aren't promoting your happiness. Now move forward. A fresh start means that all possibilities exist. Embrace your new future with excitement and open arms. Well, you know what? I'm sorry, because I am happy with how they wrote that one. I thought it was just going to be all about like romantic love, and I wasn't feeling romantic love in here, even though the Three of Swords was right here with a big old heart in the middle. I still don't feel like it's a love reading, you guys. Not even at all. This is, and they didn't do love reading, so I'm happy about that. Not that I need to have an opinion one way or the other. Man, maybe I have too many opinions today. You guys, I didn't get a lot of sleep. Sorry. So, this is your world now. Face it with a brave heart. I love how that's related to this. Like, this is not a brave heart, but in the reversal, like I said, maybe it's a change of that, like weak heart, because it's stabbed 3 times, you know. It's like a desire to have a brave heart. Take all of you and your beliefs. Don't even. Take all of you and your beliefs which serve you best, and leave behind the parts of you which no longer exist or aren't promoting your happiness. that was coming through for a reason. And because I was like, where is this coming from? The whole like, do you need a new belief system? Are you trying to understand what your beliefs really are? And it's like, maybe you are. And this is called kiss goodbye. Like, I'm going to kiss my old way of my old MO goodbye, because I really do need to start fresh. And you know what? Everything stems from what you believe. Your thoughts stem from what you believe. Your actions stem from what you believe. If you don't know what you believe, you probably lack a sense of like solid sense of self, of like, who am I? This is like developing a new belief system. I love that. Okay, so for Wednesday well-being, let's put a bow on it for now, and I'll go into the extended. It's like you have the tools. Like you've been given some some reflection, some topics of reflection, and really ask yourself, what do you believe about everything? But like maybe about a higher power. Maybe start there. Yeah, start with the hardest thing. First of all, it could be black or white, yes or no. Do I believe there's something greater than myself or not? If yes, what's the nature of that thing? And if not, why not? Test it out a little bit. Like I don't know, like ask yourself, where will I go after I'm no longer here on earth, when my human body has expired? Maybe start there and be like, see what comes out. Are you okay with like, when I'm done, I'm done? Or are you like, well, I have to center that candle. Well, it would be nice if, some part of me lived on. So anyway, start with that. That's a big question. And I feel like for Wednesday well-being, it's like, that's like the core of well-being, isn't like know thyself. Like, and it all starts with, what do you believe? It doesn't always start there, but it could. Like, what do you believe? And it's very like it can be deep and profound and life-changing, but it can also be like fun to think about. It can be a lot of fun. And it's like playing with ideas. And no one has to know anything. You don't have to tell people. You can journal. You can voice journal. You can do one of these, whatever we're doing here, talking to yourself. Yeah, it could be a lot of fun. And so I feel like that is a great step on the path to well-being, is like just trying to know yourself a little bit better. What do I believe? This has come to mind a couple times. I just have to say it. In my early 20s, I had like a really, 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 really short-term boyfriend at some point, like really short-term. Really, I don't even remember how long, maybe a week, I don't know. And anyway, we were talking, and like, I was so young, right? And so I was just so like, and I was like living out in Los Angeles, like not in a, like I wasn't like a lot of my friends back here in the Midwest. So here, I'm in the same town where I'm from. But back then, I like right out of high school, I was like, I'm going to LA. And like, I had an amazing 15 years out there, and 14 maybe. And then but this was pretty early on in my time out there. Went out there when I was like 21 to 30 something. So this was probably like 24, I don't know, somewhere in my early 20s, doesn't matter. Except for that it does, and that I was like, I didn't know who I was. I had no inkling, except I did. You know some amount about yourself, but I didn't know like the depths of myself. And so there was this person in my life. Honestly, I can't remember his name. Isn't that bad? It was that short term. It's so long ago, and my brains are like older now. And they're like a sieve. They're like very holy, as in not the but more like the Anyway, he said to me once, because we were talking, and I was just like, ever since I can remember, I can see both sides of the coin. I can see like from every perspective. I like love to play with like, well, what would this perspective believe? What would this perspective, like, I could see the good with the bad, I could just basically look at things from all angles. And people would tease me, like, they still do, like, there's always a silver lining with you, or you can always see the good in something, or whatever, which I think can be a good thing. But some people are probably like, oh, I just want you to be real with me. And I'm like, this is real. That's really how I feel. I love playing with perspective. And I think that's why I'm bringing this up now, this whole, like, what do you believe? And, like, going inward and finding what you think and believe and what your wisdom is. Because this person said to me, he's like, he got frustrated with me, and he's like, he literally said, I remember this, but I don't remember his name. But it was obviously like a breadcrumb in my life that I wanted to, like, look back on. And so I remembered it. It impacted me. He said, like, you gotta have opinions on things. And I'm like, at the time I was like, I felt it was an attack. It was like, something's wrong with me because I don't have, like, really strong, forceful opinions about things in the world. And I was like, disoriented a little bit. And then after a while, like, we split ways, obviously. Like, who wants to be with somebody like that? That's like, you gotta have opinions. And it's like, maybe some people want to be with somebody like that, but that doesn't fit me, not at all. I love opinions. I love playing with them, but I'm like, if you cling too tightly to opinions. I always knew I was too fluid for that. I'm like, if I grab onto an opinion, I'm about ready to change my mind before I even, like, grab it. Like, I am like I said, I'm all water. Cancer, sun, moon, and Scorpio. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, I'm a lot of water, and I know that I can flow anywhere, and I change my mind a lot. Things change and I roll with it. So part of me is like, I hesitate to cling tightly to things. And even back then I did. And it was like, and then I was like, after a while, I was like, BS. I don't have to have these opinions on things. What's an opinion? It's a thought that you're voicing. And it's like having a strong belief about something enough to, like, put it out in the world as an expectation that others should see your point of view a certain way. And maybe there's another use for opinions. Like, they do get stuff done in the world. Like, that's why I'm not in politics. Like, but politicians need opinions, right? Because they're out there, like, they've got to, like, enact stuff for the masses. And for me, I'm like, that wasn't my path. So I'm like, I don't need to have strong opinions on things. I love poetry, and I love reading between the lines, and I love making meaning, and, like, I love changing my mind, and I love the beauty that comes with not having opinions, but seeing things, like, from other people's perspective, and then being like, oh, that's cool too. So you can have healthy opinions. I just knew that, like, by clinging too tightly, I don't think I could have healthy perspective, I guess, by having strong opinions. That's just me. Other people can maintain healthy perspective by having strong opinions, but I didn't think that was me. So anyway, that's just coming through right now. I'm sorry. This was supposed to go in the extended. I hope you stopped watching like 10 minutes ago on the one that's going on YouTube. So anyway, thanks for listening to that. I feel like for some reason it just had to come out, and I guess it's kind of related with this finding perspective, going inward to, like, really think, like, what do I believe? What opinions do I have? Do you think they might change? And how do you feel if they were to change? Would you be okay, like, riding that wave? Riding that wave. All right, that's enough. I'll let you go. All right, bye.